Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Nightcap. We're doing this every Monday through Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I don't do this alone. I got my man FD White. I'm gonna go ahead and bring him up. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. How you doing, man?
I'm good, dude. How are you?
I can't complain, man. A little bummed out we couldn't get my guy on tonight, but we'll figure it out. Get him on, man.
Yeah.
Keeper's my guy, man.
I'm a little bummed too, and I am getting some crazy like feedback right now. So I'm gonna do a little bit of troubleshooting. If you could actually give a shout out to everyone in the chat right
Yeah.
now, I would appreciate that. And then I'm gonna try to get through this audio issue here.
All right, cool, man. We got Indie Rock Crypto, my guy, man. My Michigander, my fellow Michigander. Shout out to Indie Rock. Welcome, Average Crypto Joe. Always watching. Who else? We got Username. What's up, Username? Crux. What's up, Crux, brother? How you feeling, man? I need you to do a deep dive on a couple things. I'll shoot it over to you in the Discord, man, if you get some time. Patriot Caveman was here. Keeper still in the chat if you want to chat with Keeper, man. I see you over his channel, so thank you for coming over, Patriot Caveman. Hopefully you stay around. Alexandra G, best mod in the house. We appreciate you. Welcome. Wix Wife Fine 89. Good evening. Who else we got? We got Alex O, the family. What's up, Alex? Harp. What's up, Harp? He said, no way. You never have audio issues. That's like Harp is hilarious, man. We got Melissa putting the otters in the chat. Otter gang in the building. Buck is here. Did TradeFly break it again? That is yet to be determined. Who else we got? We got Retro Mike Tech. Welcome back to the stream, Mike. Looks like that's it. We also have Keeper in the chat, man. So Keeper should be in the chat for a little while. So man, we will get you back on. Sorry about that, man. Who else we got? We got Joe Trade Intuition. Welcome, Joe, one of my favorite traders in the space. Michael Kilo, let's go. What's up, Mike? Appreciate you, man. And that looks like it, man. That looks like it, man. So we here, man. If you watched the show a little bit earlier with me and Piper, we threw you the oop. Did you dunk it? Did you dunk it, man? So right now we are going down. Bitcoin is going down. I don't think this is gonna be like a big rollover, but it is going down. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. Welcome to the Crypto Nightcap. Back to you.
All right, man. So this audio stuff is crazy. I'm hearing this just amazing delay. So I'm going to have to work through that as best that I can. We're going to go ahead and bring up our first news article for the night. And that is not it. Why is it showing me doing push-ups? Oh my gosh. All right, let's
Hey
fix
man, health
that.
is wealth, man.
What is
Health is
going on
wealth,
here?
man.
Yeah, so I'm doing a push-up challenge right now with the flopping roper. So it's a 100 push-up a day challenge for 30 days, and this is just bananas, man. Imagine that. We're having issues. All right. Cool. There we go. So this is going to be our first headline of the day, and this is kind of going to lead into a little bit of a DCA conversation. El Salvador, look at them. They're just buying 1 Bitcoin per day, and they've been doing that for like the past month. So talk about believing in the DCA strategy. One of the things I want to point out to you guys here is the DCA strategy is tried and true, especially if the asset continues to increase in price, right, over time.
right? If you think about the S&P 500, how it goes through dips, there are pullbacks, but ultimately it does continue an up and right trajectory over time, right? So one of the things that I point out to people is if you would have bought Bitcoin at the top, right? When I say the top, it was 69K back in 2021. You buy it at the top, you DCA all the way down, right? All the way bear market lows, 13K. You're in the dumps. You're not feeling good about your investment. But by the time it got to around $30,000, guess what? You're profitable again. So you bought down that initial investment, right? Where you started at 69K, you're now starting to be profitable at 30K. And now Bitcoin is sitting, in the 60s, right? So if you're sitting around 60,000, now you're really in profits. So that is the power of DCA. And that is why a lot of people, they kind of preach DCA because it takes a lot of the thinking out of it, all of that trading, the emotion, everything that we go through when it comes to, slinging money around, right? Because that you got to have an iron stomach for that. You got to be honest. But yeah, DCA. But hey, shout out to Alex O Crypto. He's throwing some cash at the crypto nightcap again, man. He is trying to pass the morning show. And guess what? Our numbers are up. So Piper, we're coming for you, brother. He's probably already checked out. So what do you think, man? FD, what do you think about the DCA? What do you think about El Salvador just buying away? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, man. The DCA approach, like I wasn't really privy to the DCA approach last cycle, but then my guy Rob over at Digital Asset, excuse me, Digital Asset News, I started watching him, and we formed some, a little bit of a friendship, I would say. And every time we talked, he would talk about, DCA, 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 and all his channels, is DCA, DCA, DCA. So it kind of stuck with me, and I didn't really use it with Bitcoin because I really haven't bought any Bitcoin like from fiat to Bitcoin in like maybe like 2 years. I have converted some crypto into Bitcoin, but my average price for Bitcoin might be like 16 or 15, 17,000 because I got in like 11 and 13. And then, after like 18, I didn't really buy anymore. So I haven't really been DCAing into Bitcoin like I want to. I've been a little bit of a degenerate. DCAing into alts here and there when I get a little bit of extra chicken, as we like to call it. So right now I think is the time to the markets are still down, like the markets, if you think the markets are going to blast off, a lot of these altcoins are still down 40-50% from cycle high. So I think a good time, like we talked about Ondo yesterday, we talked about stacks, a lot of these are still where they were still under like macro downtrend lines and whatnot, so they broke out a little bit, but in the grand scheme of things, we're still under a lot of my buy areas. So I think now is a good time. If your conviction is strong, if you have a longer term mindset to DCA into some of these coins. Never go all in unless I mean, you can go all in if you want to. I can't give you financial advice, but my thing, I do the three approach. I'll put, when I want to put it all in, I'll put maybe like 50 to 60% in, and then I'll put another 20% in, another 20%, as opposed to just putting in, $100 here every week or $10 here every other day or something like that. So it just depends. It also depends on the asset too, how I think the asset is going to move. So it just depends on your personal matter.
Right on, right on. Sorry, man. So I'm kind of going through and setting everything up. I had to clear it all out, which, of course, all these issues that we got going on here. And of course, it does
Yeah.
not really want to update. I just selected
When it, oh
hit
yeah, well,
save.
when it comes to El
There
Salvador
we go.
though, El Salvador, man, I just read something not too long ago where I know they were like borrowing from like the IMF or something like that. I think they're not as dependent as they used to be on on these different, these bigger entities now. So of course, I mean, you can thank Bitcoin. They're
Well, that's
a
the part,
firm
right?
believer in Bitcoin. Yeah, they're a
Decentralized,
firm
right?
believer. Yeah, they're a firm believer in Bitcoin. So this is a case study. We'll see. A lot of other countries are watching. So this is like a case study.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Over our next little piece of news here, we got the S&P 500 has added nearly $1 trillion of market cap today after the Fed cuts rate by 50 basis points. So since the September 6th low, the index has now added over 3 trillion of market cap. Now think about that. Bitcoin itself is only sitting just over 2 trillion, and they added since September 6th 3 trillion. So that's what I say sometimes when I'm like, hey, we're only a small piece of the pie here. Like we, it feels big to us because we're very ingrained in it. We're watching all the shows and we invest in it. But when it really comes down to it, like when you start talking about the stock market and you start talking about these larger entities, Bitcoin just a small fry, just a small fry. So we are still growing, and that's why a lot of people still say, "Hey, we're early." So you never know, man. So what's your thoughts, man? So we're post now, we're post cut. We got that 50 basis point. What's your thought on the current economic state? I know that Piper kind of has his thoughts on it. He's kind of bearish right now. He's pulled out a lot of out of a lot of his cryptos. He's kind of holding a lot of capital right now and just kind of sitting on the sidelines. Like what are you feeling? What are your thoughts?
I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous, and I'm a little nervous because history has shown us that well, really 2000, I think it was September 18th, 2007, if I'm not, if my memory serves me correctly. I can go back on the chart when we go to the charts. But the Nasdaq, we got a 50 basis point cut. This is before the Great Recession. We got like a 50 basis point cut, and the Nasdaq um rose about another 11, 12%. Then it proceeded to roll over 54% down. So after that first cut, we did get a nice little blast off to all-time highs in 2007, and then we started to roll over possibly about, I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks. We'll look at the chart so I can confirm that. But I think we're in for a short-term rally, and my short-term rally goes into the election. After the election, a little bit after the election is when I'm going to start getting a little bit weary. So hopefully we can go up as much as possible before the election and a little bit after the election. But it's still, we still got a lot of headwinds. We still got a lot of things that we got to that are just uncertain, and markets do not like uncertainty. So we'll see. We will see. We'll just have to just take it a day at a time. Take it a day at a time.
Right on, right on. All right. So you guys know what time it is. We're gonna go ahead and bring up Mr. Fudd. Sound the siren. Let's get it going. All right, so breaking US existing home sales fell by 2.5% to 3.86 million in August, the second lowest level in 14 years. Home sales fell by nearly doubled the expected 1.3% decline. Contract closings dropped in 3 of 4 US regions, with the highest decrease of 3.9% seen in the South. So what is this telling us, right? This is goes back to that conversation of the disposable income and people really being priced out of homes. And this is why I would have loved to have Keeper on, because we were just having a conversation prior to the show that he's seeing it, because he is in the construction world and he actually saw like tangible difference, right? There was a big difference in revenue for his company, you know, with some of the economic factors that are happening right now. So, thankfully, he said things are kind of turning around for him, which are good, and that's a blessing, right? But like, that's coming from somebody that is in that world, right? And that kind of goes back to the narrative that I've been talking about. Like, I just really think that retail is sitting on the sideline right now, mostly because they don't have the disposable income that they used to have based on inflation, based on, rising insurance rates. Homes are the most expensive they've been. Cars, vehicles have gone up, utilities have gone up. I mean, like everything is more expensive. And, I would be willing to bet it's somewhere around 20%, a month that we're seeing a difference between now and a few years ago. And I'm not gonna put that, because that's a lagging indicator too. A lot of people want to put it on, hey, like there was an existing president, or and really I don't think that the president really controls the economy all that much. But here nor there, uh, it's a lagging indicator. So understand that. So when we have something that's good 3 years ago, it's really probably something that's 18 months prior leading into that. That's kind of the delay when you start talking about some of these economic factors. So what are your thoughts there? What are you seeing where you live? I think you're in Detroit, right? So you kind of see a different perspective than I do. I'm in a suburb of LA, so I've talked about what I'm seeing, but what are you seeing? Like, are you seeing people kind of priced out, or what's it like where you're at?
Well, I'm in Detroit. I'm in the outskirts.
Okay.
So it's it's a lot of like when it comes to the houses, I haven't really seen that many for sale. I don't think it's that much supply. So that is definitely doing something, real estate is really a supply demand, thing. Interest rates matter a lot too, but if you get more supply, then the prices are going to come down. It's just not really that much supply right now. So I don't really see that many for sale signs, or when I drive around, or when I'm looking. I'm really not big into the real estate. I actually just did a show with Michael Zuber over on my channel, from One Rental at a Time. He's a big
Hmm.
real estate guy out in California. I think he moved to Las Vegas now, and we were talking about, and I was talking about, taking some profits from Bitcoin and moving it over to real estate next year. And he was just giving me, like some tips and tricks, for the real estate game. But I haven't really did a deep dive into real estate yet. I'm only keeping up with like the interest rates and keeping up with like, the existing home sales. But when it comes to like, my specific area, I haven't really done any due diligence or any research yet. So
Okay.
I can't really super comment on it, but from a wider, broader perspective, people are definitely priced out. People are, houses, they're a little bit off their peak, but they are still high. And like you said, man, the main thing is your pay is not keeping up. So as these houses keep going up in price and your pay is going up, even smaller, it's just like you're
Yeah.
just gonna get. It's just inevitable that you get priced out, and then that's when everybody's starting to rent. That's when I have seen a lot of people renting. But then once everybody's starting to rent, then you can just the renting starts to get scarce, so you could just put the price up for that. So it's just like it's we have to see what happens in the next I'll say 6 months.
It comes in waves. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, it's up and down for sure. And but I would say what I see here in SoCal. Sorry, my volume just went through the roof there. Let me adjust that real quick. But what I've seen is prices are like super, super high, right? But they're actually starting to come back a little bit. And not only that, they're starting to offer incentives. They're starting to offer like 20K towards like closing costs and things of that nature. So like you're starting to see those deals on the new builds, right? And that's 'cause we're looking to move actually, and we've been focusing on new builds because it's just you get more bang for your buck right now. And so
Yeah,
that's kind of where, we'll probably end up settling on that right now in the interim.
yeah. Yep.
It's
So
just the best
yeah, so that's
value.
what I'm doing. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So I got some land that I got the blueprints, I got everything for it, but we just haven't started. Like I got back, and I was gone for like 5 or 6 months, and then we just really haven't got it back started. But they've been calling and telling us all these new deals, these new home build deals and whatnot, and they're so much different than when you're just trying to go and buy a house that's already standing. So username also said, so he confirmed what I saw. He said Michigan is in a housing shortage. He said houses are still crazy priced in Michigan per Michigan standards. So yeah, like a lot of houses are still seems like they're overvalued for the standards in Michigan. But that's just one of the things with inflation. Every so often, those standards get changed and those standards go up. So that's just what it is.
All right, let's go ahead and go over to the market, Paul. Sorry, sometimes there's a little bit of delay here because I hear two voices talking, and it's like I'm like tracking to see when you actually stop talking for realsies. All right, so over to the market, Paul. So let's go ahead and look at that. The first thing we got is the total market cap. That's sitting at 2.2 trillion, and it is up 1.26% over the last 24 hours. 24-hour trading volume is sitting at $110 billion, and that is down 7.34%. Bitcoin dominance is at 55%. That is down 0.27%. Fear and greed index is currently at greed with a 54. Let's go over to the economic calendar. And the next thing we have up is going to be tomorrow. That's going to be core PCE price index month over month, personal income month over month, and personal spending month over month. So is that going to have as big an impact as we just got with the rate cuts? Nope. I don't really think so. So tune in tomorrow for the morning show. Piper will break that down for you. Actually, I am losing my mind. That is actually Friday, September 27th. So we got a whole week before we get some crazy data coming out. You also got durable goods, GDP growth rate. That's a big one, actually. So on Thursday, September 26th, GDP growth rate is going to be a pretty big one. And then Fed Chair Powell is going to speak again. So keep a lookout for that. We do have a few things next week that could actually have an impact on price. So going over to the crypto bubbles, let's look and see what we got here. We got some green on the board. That is good to see. You got Cord at 10.3%, Aptos at 6.9%, WIF at 7.8%, Solana at 4.4%, STX at 6.7, Ordi at 5.4, Tau at 8.9, and IMX, what is that? Immutable? Yep, Immutable, 8.7%. So you got some movers there on the board. AVAX at 2.6, like to see that. Let's see who's getting hit here. Fast token, 8.5% in the negative. Helium is down 7.2%. ICP down 3.9. Nears down 4.8. So a few losers here. So that's kind of unfortunate. But let's go ahead and scroll down and look at some of the larger cap tokens here. And Bitcoin, obviously, number one at $62,773. So that is pulling back. We're going to get over to the charts here in a minute and see why that actually is. But if you guys looked at the title, we're at resistance. All right. So hint, hint. All right. Over the last 24 hours, we are up 1%. And over the week, 8.3%. Ethereum is up 2.3% for the day and up 4% for the week. Currently sitting at $2,448. Solana's at $142. That's up 4.4% over the last 24 hours. That's a nice little move for Solana. XRP, it's sitting there between 50 and 60 cents every day. Same story. Dogecoin still sitting at about 10 cents. Toncoin at 563. It's slowly moving up. Yeah, I think it was about 550 yesterday. Tron is at 15 cents. Cardano at 35 cents, and that has not been much of a mover. So we did get a little move of the market. Cardano still slow, but Avalanche looking good. $26.70. It was as low as I think $22 as early as a couple of days ago. So, or as recently as a couple of days ago. And so that's actually moved 11.9% over the last week. So looking good there. And we don't have any switches here. So everybody's kind of holding their position as we kind of go further down the bubbles. All right, let's get over to the liquidation heat map. You know, this is one of my favorite things to look at. We are on the 3-day here. All right, so the trend right now that you're seeing on the liquidation heat map is an up and right trend. You can see that there is some liquidity up at about 64,000, but you have to get through some major area of resistance. And I think that's going to be pretty hard. You have the 200 SMA, and then you have a pretty nice horizontal level of resistance as well to work with. And that's about $1,000 spread or so. So it's going to be tough to get up there, but we will look at that on the chart here soon. You can see it's getting hot down here, right? There's some leveraged longs, there's some stop losses all sitting down here. And that's based on, you know, you can see there's a support level sitting somewhere around 59,250. Again, we'll look at that on the chart as well. So let me go ahead and bring that up. Give me 1 second here because, like I said, I had to reset everything. Go figure. All right, Bitcoin, super chart. Let's get it. All right, so looking at Bitcoin, we are currently on the daily. So this is the resistance I'm talking about. This right here, this is the 200 SMA on the daily, a very, very key level. That's why I leave it on the chart. All right, so right now you can see it wicked right off of that area. Look at that. So nice little wick coming off of there. And this is the other area. So that's actually at 64, about 64K. So where do we say the liquidity was? Let's go back to the chart at about 64K. So that makes sense. It does make sense. So it looks like it clears some liquidity on its way up. And then that one kind of got left there because resistance. So people were probably smart, these ones right here, and put their stop losses and their leverage positions over top, or like where they would actually get liquidated. They put it over the 200 SMA. So, you know, I'm not going to say like, you know, savvy, but somewhat, right? You want to put that stuff behind or over resistance and below support. All right, let's go back over to the chart here and see what we're seeing, right? So we still have this fallen wedge that's printed. We did get a smart target here that's up about at a horizontal level of resistance. I don't know that we'll see that. Remember, I always say, like, you see these smart targets, find what makes sense. The 200 SMA, it's probably where I'd be out on this move, to be honest. If you were intraday or scalping, the 200 SMA, I kind of talked about that earlier when I was on Crypto Blood Show. That's kind of, that would have been my exit, to be honest. And I would have just took profit. So looking at it now, there is an opportunity here to stay on top of this wedge, right? That's really what you want to see. If you do see price action pull back, extend this, extend this. All right. And then if it comes down, you want to see price action bounce off of here so we can see that continuation up and right. So that's what I'd be looking for. Right now, though, the prime oscillator looks pretty good on the daily. It's probably telling you a different story on the 4 hour. So sometimes to get a little bit more of, a quicker look at it, you want to go over to the 4 hour and see what you're looking at. So trend is up and right. It is starting to bend over though, and you are starting to get some hits that looks like it wants to pull back a little bit. So it has regressed to the mean. We are in this channel. Man, I gotta clear all this craziness out. But it's on the 4 hours not looking so bad, right? The only thing you really got to work through is that channel. You have resistance on the top side, and then you have the resistance still at about 65K. This was a big level for blood as well, about 65K, 65.1. And really what that is, if you're going back left on the chart, is you're finding where there's very clear resistance here. All right. So you can see 2 hits of resistance right there. You can see that you had a retest with a breakdown. So that's telling you, hey, breakdowns are one of the things that I always look for. You have support, retest, breakdown, big movement of price action off of that area. That lets me know what's important. You keep going back left on the chart and you're just seeing multiple touches of that area. Look, right here, you get a retest and price action goes up and right. So that's key for me. And that's why I have that one line specifically on the charts. And I'm going to keep it on there because I think it is a significant area. I think that area at 65.1 is what's going to tell us which way we're going. Because if we can't break that area, I think that we're going to start coming back down to these lower levels. That's obvious. But if we get on top of it, then I'm going to be looking for that OC retest that we always talk about, right? I want to see that something like this, all right? When we get that retest, what you would like to see with the oscillator is that it resets, but you want to see that it's moving up and right. So retest, up and right movement from the oscillator, that would, I'm not going to say it's going to give us confirmation, but that kind of gives you the warm and fuzzy that you might actually see a little bit of upside movement. Now, if you get that upside movement off of the 65K range, then you got to look at the 2021 high. If you go to the 2021 high, again, you're seeing support, resistance over and over again. It's a significant area. Always keep your highs on the chart. That's my own thing, right? So I got that from Magic Internet Money. He leaves like the daily highs, the weekly highs, session highs. Like that dude has lines everywhere. But I do like using the yearly highs for sure. I leave those on the chart. That plays out quite often. So that's what I'm looking at, in the short term here. I do think that we're going to get a little bit of pullback personally, because we've been calling this move up and right for quite some time. We've been talking about it for days. The move has played out in my mind. So now we're kind of chilling a little bit. I do think it's due for a little bit of a pullback. Let's go back to the daily real quick. If we do get that pullback, yeah, so you got the dynamic reactor right here. That's kind of your next area of support that you'll be looking at. And that's at about 60,700. We would like to see some price action off of that. You like to see a bounce there to kind of say, okay, we have this ability to, maintain, up and right movement. The other thing that I was looking at here, let's see, let's do a fib. So you got the bottom to, let's actually go, I think 65.1 is a line in the sand, right? I think that's where we could go before we ultimately see that rejection. Sorry, I'm trying to delete this one little circle here so we can see it a little bit more clear. Now, when you got that fib on there, where's this lining up? See, I marked this here, this horizontal level of support. All right, we've already bounced in that area once. If it pulls back, I'm definitely going to be looking in that area again. That's the golden pocket, right, of this fib retracement. Plus, we already have confirmation that it is a horizontal level of support. So I would write that number down somewhere around 57.6, 57.2, somewhere in that neighborhood. I would be looking for price action. So that could be an opportunity for a little bit of a scalp or an intraday type trade. All right. So those are some numbers for you for Bitcoin. Ultimately, if we do pull back, the biggest one that we've been talking about for the longest time is this channel. So right here, this trend line. Hopefully, you guys have marked it. I put it in the Discord. But by the time it gets back down here, if it were to pull back, I mean, you're looking probably at what, like 55, 54.6, somewhere in that neighborhood. And now you're starting to line up with the value area low. So now you're starting to get confluence with support levels. So definitely would be interested if I do see Bitcoin pulling back to that price level. That might be an opportunity to DCA in. That's kind of my new approach, right? It comes down to these important levels. I DCA in. So there you go. That's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to FD, and hopefully I can figure out these audio issues while he's hitting you guys with some of this TA.
There we go. I was muted. So I actually did find it while we were excuse me, while you were talking. Sorry, still getting over this cold. So I'm on the Nasdaq, man, the NDX, the Nasdaq. So I went back. It's around September 7th. September 17th of '07. So this is when we first got. I did my research really quick, and this week is when we got that first 50 basis rate cut. So from this point here, let me see, around the September 17th. Uh, Sorry, give me one second. September 17th, we went up. So it's looking like we went up. I didn't do that right. I think it's about 11.5%. Let me do that one more time. And I'm gonna tie it all in together. Give me one second. There we go. So we went up. So that's about, yeah, so about 11% from the first rate cut. So I say that to say this, that I do think in the short term, off this 50% rate cut, we can get, some bullish momentum in the weeks to come. We talked about this 64K level for all week. We said if Bitcoin breaks out, we're going to 64. If Bitcoin breaks out, we're going to around 64. We went to around 64. Now we got to pull back. We're going to go to Bitcoin in a second, and I'll show you exactly how we shorted this top over on the trading show earlier with me and Piper. But back to this one, as we topped out, I think like a month later here, around October 2020, October 22nd rather, and then we proceeded to go down 54%. So we did have an initial rally off this 50% or this 50 basis point cut, and then everything started to fall apart the next year. Then we had that double bottom on the weekly, but that's neither here nor there. So I say that to say this: I look at these, different past movements, and I look at how the market is moving right now to gauge my trades. So they say, what do you mean? So the market is still in uncertainty. Like we got this 50 basis point cut, but we also have like the 10-year yield going up. We still have headwinds in Japan. We still have a lot of things that are going to keep us, uncertain. So that's just telling me that I'm going to start taking trades or taking profits a little bit quicker. I said this earlier on the show. So if you were there, you just got to hear it again. So that's what I'm gauging. That's why I'm taking profits a little bit earlier. Because I'm still uncertain. A lot of times in a raging bull market, scalps or day trades can turn into investments, longer term swing trades, because that's just the environment that the market is in. I don't think we're in that type of environment yet. So I'm taking profits quicker. TP1, I might just take it all. I might not even get to TP2. It just depends. But I'm not holding trades super long. So let's go back to Bitcoin and let's see what I have for Bitcoin and how we called this top a little bit earlier. So I was on a 4-hour time frame. Let's actually go all the way. Where are we at? Okay, sorry about that. My trade. There we go. So I got two, not that one, this one here. So this is what I was looking at on this 4-hour time frame. I was right before the show at 4 o'clock. I looked up and I seen this candle here. Let me see if you can see that. So this candle right here, when I see candles at major resistance points, my bias is going to turn bearish. So this is called a shooting star candle. I'm not really a candlestick trader, but when I see hammer candles at major support or inverted hammer candles or shooting stars at major resistance, that's going to flip my bias to bearish. And then I'll come back with some confluence. So we do have that horizontal coming in, like we said, at about 64 that we were talking about. We did come down here to our oscillators. We see money flow, or we saw money flow actually coming out at the top. Right now, it is starting to curve back up on the 4R. We seen the MACD cross, and we seen the MACD turn from green to white. So that was my three confluences that I needed to go short. And I was going to go short anyway once we hit the 64, because I know the technical target, for a lot of traders was around there. So right now, I'm probably looking to potentially come back to this area here. And this would be where I would flip back long. Even if we don't come all the way down, we do have some support. We might come back to this wick at about 62.6. But for the most part, my major convicted long would be to come down to this area here at about 61.5 to 61.6. And like you said, that would probably give the RSI a chance to reset, recover, start to make its way back up. And we possibly could even come, and wick down here and create some type of divergence while the RSI is going up and the price is still coming back down. So that would be some sort of bullish divergence. So that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm just going to hold this short until proven otherwise. And yeah, a lot of coins, a lot of the altcoins had the same topping tail or shooting star. So we can look at a couple of those too. And we can look at the Ondo. So we talked about Ondo. Remember, we threw Ondo in yesterday. That broke out. So if you took that trade, congratulations. We talked about stacks. That broke out from my targets. So if you took that trade, congratulations from the stream yesterday. So I'll pass it back to you, and I'll bring a couple more charts up before we get out of here.
Right on, dude. I'm gonna bring up Solana. We were just talking about it in the chat a little bit with Crypto Pollo. So the area that I was looking at, and we talked about that on the morning show. So Friday, it was actually September 6th. My bad, dude. So September 6th, it came back down and it was retesting this area here, which is the value area low of the range. All right. And so we really haven't gotten much in terms of closes underneath of that area, maybe a little bit here on the 6th and the 7th. But one of the key areas was 121. Look at the wicks. The wicks were coming down 121, 121, 121. I mean, this one came a little bit lower, that one came a little bit lower, but this one was the Japan fiasco. And look at the crazy buying pressure right here. So that's one of the things that I talk about. When you see all that buying pressure, this crazy wick, that's something that makes you feel better about the next time you come down to that area, right? You can see that there's willing buyers in that area. So, there you go. Put my little pumpkins, man. I'm getting festive here, but put a little airplane emoji, let you know, man, this is where it was taking off. And you could see you got a reversal, peak seeker, all kind of lining up. But what I was looking at, I was like, hey, if we see that upside movement, the one thing, my kind of line in the sand is going to be the dynamic reactor and the point of control. Okay, so we had this resistance right here that we had to work through. We got the breakout ultimately, and you see where the smart target is. That's way up there. But first stop is going to be point of control, dynamic reactor. There's confluence there on the daily, which gives me a lot of pause. Right, that lets me know that that's going to be a pretty serious area to work through. So I would be expecting a little bit of a pullback. Right, that's kind of what I would expect initially with price action. If Bitcoin continues its push up and right, which is going to be tough for it because it is now at the 200 SMA on the daily. So it's at a key area of resistance. Now we're lining up with resistance on both daddy and, the kid here. So, I think we'll see a little bit of a pullback first before we retest this area if we come back up and retest it. So, that's kind of what I'm looking at, man. You can go to lower time frames and see if this bends over the prime oscillator or the RSI, which I would expect it to on a lower time frames. But it could be a short opportunity, but it'd have to be pretty quick. So you're going to start looking at some of the moving averages. This is actually a VWAP here. So it would be a kind of a quick move. Maybe if you look for, oh, geez, what am I doing here? Let's see. Probably only look for about 1% or so. All right. Let's see if we can actually get this right. Oh, that's a percent right there. What is going on? Why is this not working? My computer is just acting crazy today. There we go. So that would be about a 2% move. So it'd be a pretty quick move, but it could be an opportunity there. And then see if you can find support on that VWAP. So that's kind of what I'm looking for in terms of price action for Solana in the near term. But if you're looking for a long position, or if you want to add to the bags, wait for that retest. All right, get on top of the point of control here, look for that, and then look for that move up. But that's going to be kind of your line in the sand there. The 200 SMA on the daily is now going to be your new level of resistance if you break this area right here. So again, big on letting it come to me. Price has now come, right? It's coming up to the point of control and the dynamic reactor. A lot of times we see that act as resistance or support when it interacts with it. So there's something for you to look at on Solana. I'll pass it back to FD. What you got, man?
So I got we'll look at Ando. So yesterday, towards the end of the stream, we talked about this move for Ando. We were on the 4 hour time frame. We said that we had to break this mega downtrend that we were in since the top. I think it was all the way from the top. Let's see, where did it? Yeah, all the way close to like $1.50, $1.45. So we finally broke it. We've been waiting on this for a while. So what I said yesterday was I drew it out. I said we wanted to break out, possibly come down, and then we can come back up after retesting this as support. So this is what I look at. This is what I look at, because it really depends on what time frame you are trading. So if I'm looking at this from the 4 hour time frame, okay, we broke out, but of course, you got to do your top down. You got to zoom in. We're going to zoom in to the 15, and I'll show you where the entry was. But now this trade is sort of like reset. So we broke out. So if you're more of a swing trader and you're just looking at the 4 hour time frame, you didn't enter this trade. So what are you looking for now? You're looking for the retest. So we already broke out. So now you will be looking to enter. Coming down here at about 61, 64. So if you're a longer term swing trader, you probably didn't catch this quick move. You're probably waiting, or you probably would want to wait on this here, which actually would be in confluence with this would be a horizontal right here coming in to cross that downward sloping trend line. And if you wanted to use tight, it just depend on how much leverage you're using and how tight you want your stop loss. You can come down a little bit below one of these wicks over here. But what I was talking about yesterday, of course we did it from the 4 hour, but then we zoomed in to the 15-minute and we got our entry. So this is what happened yesterday. This is what I talked about on the channel. So we were about right here yesterday. Let's see, seven. That's 5, 6, 7, 8. So we were poking our head out. So we finally poked our head out around 10 o'clock. We broke out around 10:30. What did we do? We came down for a perfect retest about 11:30, and then we started to make our way up. So now, that's a trade. You got your take profits. If you went in, just go back, look at some resistance matters or some resistance points back there. So I'm still in the trade. I hope I really don't want to round trip it, but I am looking for, I wouldn't suggest this, because now we're going to if we do come all the way back down to retest on these longer time frames, then I probably will be going into some sort of downward price action when it comes to my portfolio. But I'll hold it because I do have, I think it's like 2x leverage. So it's not really going to be that much if I get stopped out. So I am looking for a retest to possibly continue our way back up to my main target here at about 71 to 72 cent, and then that'll be where I want to potentially take profits. But I will cut it short depending on how Bitcoin is. I will cut it short. I'll have probably some alerts set under this wick here, and I will probably, that's what I'm gonna do actually when we get off the stream. I'm gonna make a alert. Yeah, I'm making an alert at this wick here at about 62.90. And then, if we start to lose momentum, then I'll probably cut it short. But on this move on the 15, let's actually go a little bit higher time frame. We didn't really get a lot of momentum coming in. Like we got the money flow was coming up a little bit, and then we got the rollover. So we really didn't get that much of a momentum move coming in. So it's a little bit of a weaker move, but I think if the overall market continues bullish, or if Bitcoin continues bullish, then I think I can hold this a little bit longer. But we will see. We'll see. But if you got in the Ondo trade, man, congratulations. If you just use it as a scalp, like we talked about yesterday, you waited for that breakout, another 45 minutes to an hour, you got the retest, and then depending on your leverage, you probably could have got at least a good 2 to 3% move, and that's really all you need per day.
Right on, man. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed some of the TA today. Sorry we couldn't get Keeper on. We had him sitting there. We were trying, man, but we just couldn't get the audio right today. So unfortunately, we didn't want to keep troubleshooting. We didn't want to keep you guys waiting. And, I mean, we already made you wait too long. But that being said, I do want to push you over to his page at a minimum. And if you guys would go over there, support him. This is his X account. It is at Trading Wars BTC. Go ahead, give him a follow, and we would definitely appreciate that. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead. We're going to get out of here today. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Give us a like and subscribe if you did. Sorry about some of the audio issues, and we're kind of working through things again. It seems to be a tradition. I think Piper might actually convert me over to Ecamm. I think I'm going to have to go ahead and make the move. But we're out of here. FD, you got anything for the people on the way out?
No, man, just always on Thursdays I say, just keep a close eye on the markets. We still have a lot of things that could change the market dynamics in a blink of an eye. So make sure you just staying in tune to the markets, keeping your stop losses tight, and don't lose all your money around this time, because if you think we still got a lot more upside to go, you don't want to lose all your money trading. So just stay safe, use stop loss as Piper says, and have a good weekend, man. We'll be back Monday, bigger and better than ever with better audio,
Yeah,
guaranteed.
I'm going to be working it this weekend. Don't worry. I'll probably make the conversion to Ecamm because this is banana land. Y'all have a good one. We're out of here. Enjoy the weekend. Trade safe. And we're going to see you Monday. We're out.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that